All right, we got our chili bubbling, got our soup done, got our bread over here cooling off. So what's that leave?
Well, now we're going to make you a really nice dessert to go with the finish off this meal.
Beer dessert?
Beer dessert. We're going to make a chocolate stout cupcake with an Irish cream frosting. And it's not really that difficult. We're going to take 2 cups of flour, put that in a bowl, 2 cups of sugar, just to make sure that it's sweet for everybody. Put that in a bowl. We have 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, not soda, powder. That'll give us the rise we're looking for, and 3/4 teaspoon of salt. And all we want to do is we can take a whisk. Let's make sure we get all that salt out of there. Take a whisk, make sure we get that all, just blend it up so everything's blended together and nothing is sitting by itself. Then what we want to do is I've taken already in our pot, we have 1 cup of stout beer. You can choose which one you want. And we'll bring that to a simmer. We're going to add 2 sticks of butter and let that melt for a second. While that's melting, we're going to take essentially 2 ounces of cream cheese. We're going to put that in a separate bowl, and then we're going to take 2 eggs, and we're going to add that in. Now when you're cracking your eggs, don't crack it on the side of the bowl, because what happens, you get little pieces of eggshell in there. You want to crack it on the counter, they'll crack really nice, and then put it in a bowl. And then you can just take a quick visual look to make sure there's no shells in there. So we're going to dump that in there. Everything should be at room temperature, and then we're just going to blend that together real quick. All right. Now what we're going to do is going to come over here. We're going to take a look. We're just going to keep this simmering a little bit until our butter is completely melted into the stout beer. Again, you can pick the brand that you want, doesn't really matter, but a good strong heavy stout is really what you want here. And you're going to smell these cupcakes and they're just going to taste wonderful. In the meantime, you can line your cupcake tray with cupcake papers. Alright, we'll grab our whisk, we'll whisk this just a little bit, make sure everything gets nice and
Whiskey?
Whiskey, yeah, exactly. Actually, you could put whiskey in some stuff, but we're going to go with the Guinness. We just want to make sure that...
We drank all the whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to make sure... Well, we've been cooking all day.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah. We just want to make sure that the butter is all nice and cooked and that there's just a little bit of simmer. You see just a few little bubbles coming up. That's all we really want. I'm going to take this off the stove. You can do it there. I'm going to place my pot on something that won't burn. And you're going to take 3/4 cups of... cocoa powder. In this case, I'm going to use a dark chocolate cocoa powder.
Are you cuckoo for cocoa powder?
Cuckoo for cocoa powder. And then what you want to do is whisk that all together. What will happen is the hot liquid is going to make sure that the chocolate melts and there's no lumps, and you'll feel it because you'll see it start to thicken up. And boy, you can really smell the stout as well as the chocolate. So I don't know if you can see that, but everything's melted in really nice. Now what we want to do is blend this with our egg mixture. Again, it's not a very difficult recipe, quite quick, very rich, wonderful taste to it, very moist cupcake. I'm just going to blend that for just a second to make sure it all comes together. And from the heat, any of the cream cheese that might not have blended in will be nicely blended in at this point in time. But it'll give it that richness. All right, and then what we're going to start doing is just starting to add a little at a time, maybe about 1/4 at a time, our flour sugar mixture.
Also known as flugger.
Exactly. Just to get it, maybe in 3 little pieces.
We're making little pizzas?
Yeah, little pizzas too. That'll be our next thing.
Shh, you're not supposed to tell them.
just till it's blended. You don't have to overwork this batter either. And then we'll add the rest. That out of the way.
And that's the last of the flugger.
You can see it's getting, it's getting nice and thick like cake batter should. I have it on a medium speed. This is not to overdo it. Again, we don't want to overdo it. That's pretty good right there.
Works for me.
We'll take our spatula just to make sure that we get all of the flour and sugar incorporated in, and we're ready to go. All right, the easiest way to put this in is to put it into the cupcakes, the little doilies, is simply to get an ice cream scoop. This is a 2 tablespoon ice cream scoop. You know, grab the batter, let it drain off a little bit, put it right over, pop it in. That's all you really need. It's about 2/3 of the way there. What's nice about the ice cream scoop is, you know, you get consistency in terms of how much is going into each little packet here. So they should all rise about the same, have nice uniform consistency, and impress your friends.
There you have it.
All right. There's enough for another 12 cupcakes, so if you can make 24, which is great. So you got plenty to eat, plenty to share with your friends. We're going to pop this in the oven at 350 degrees, and we're going to leave it in there for anywhere between 22 to 25 minutes. And when it comes out, we're going to test it with a toothpick, make sure that it comes out nice and clean, and then we'll just let them cool. So see you again in about 22 minutes. That was 22 minutes. Our timer went off. Let's take a quick peek. There you go. You see the consistency of them. I'm going to take our toothpick, just pop it right in the middle of one of them, pull it up. Comes out perfectly dry. We know that we're done. So what we want to do is take them out of the oven now. We're going to put them on a cooling rack. We're going to let them sit in the cooling rack in the actual tin still for another minute. Let them cool down for just a second. Then after we cool down for the minute, we'll pop those out and let them cool completely before we even try to ice them. And then I'm going to show you how to make this really succulent, sweet, just fantastic frosting.
Okay, so you got the cupcakes out, cooling off. What's next, big guy?
All right, let's talk about how we're going to make this very sweet and just absolutely delicious frosting. Real simple. What you want to do is take 1 stick of butter. Now, you want to leave it at room temperature. This has been sitting out for probably a little over an hour. So you can see it's buttery and soft, but you still want to put it on high speed and just really whip it up till it's nice and light. You pop some air in there, and you're going to see how nice and smooth and easy this is to make. Now what we want to do is we're going to start adding our powdered sugar. And what I have here is 3.5 cups of powdered sugar.
That's a pop cup.
And it has to be, look at that cup, it has to be powdered sugar, not regular granulated sugar. And what you want to do is just add a couple tablespoons at a time. All right, this way you make sure that the sugar is definitely dissolved, and it'll just be nice and smooth and easy to work with. So we'll keep it at, you know, right now low speed just to get it going until we get all that sugar popped into it. And this will just take us a few minutes. In the meantime, is on the side, I've put 6 tablespoons of, in this case it's Bailey's Irish cream. You can use any kind of Irish cream that you prefer. As this starts to get thicker, we're going to add that in. It's going to flavor it. I have 4 right here, and then the other ones we'll use as we go along. If we find that the frosting is too thick, we'll add a little bit more of the cream. If we find it's too thin, we'll add a little bit more sugar. Okay, well you can see now we've got probably half the sugar in. It's got a really nice creamy consistency. You can see all the sugar's blended in. It's getting a little thick, so I'm just going to go ahead and add just a couple of drops, you know, maybe a tablespoon of the Irish cream. That'll give it a little bit more of a looser consistency as we add more and more of the powdered sugar as we go. And you're just going to keep, at this point, moving between the powdered sugar and the Irish cream till you get a nice spreadable consistency. So let's go ahead and add half of that. Now we're going to put it on high, get a little bit of air into it, make sure everything is incorporated. Now that's a pretty good consistency, but if you want, you can add the rest of it, part of it, whatever you feel comfortable, and you'll get a feel for it. But it's very soft. All that sugar is nicely incorporated now. It's got a really nice consistency to it, and I get to drink the last bit. I love baking. And we're going to let our quality control manager here tell you how it is.
Well, I think I could use a little more Bailey's.
Now that we have the cupcakes are out, they've cooled maybe about 30 minutes, which is great. This way they're nice to the touch. And what we don't want to do is have this wonderful frosting we've just made basically melt all over the cupcakes. I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can frost these. One, obviously the easiest way is just plain old butter knife. You know, put it in there. Move it around. You can see it's a nice, easy, spreadable consistency. The other way that we're going to try is if you have a, some people have them, some people don't. You have a piping bag. I like to just stick it, there's a little tip on the piping bag. I stick it in a glass, make it easier. Pop it on down, fill it part way up, And again, this is just if you want to be a little fancier. Squeeze it, come up to your thing here, have it pop out a little bit. All right. And all you want to do is go to the edge and just go around in a circle. No big deal.
Or just make a smiley.
Or just make a smiley. And there you go. If you don't have this, the other way is just take, this is a 1 gallon freezer bag. All I did was cut the very tip off. Again, you just want to roll it down a little bit. Make sure you find the end with the tip. Again, scoop out some of your icing. Oh,
drop it in.
Need the bag. Pop it on down in there. Come on. Same thing, you're just going to roll it out. Then you can squeeze it on out, just see with the tip, and it's the same thing. So you can hang on to it if you want. Start at one end, work your way around. Very simple. So you don't even have to have a piping bag, and you can be nice and fancy. Those are the 3 ways you can frost it. Those are our lovely cupcakes. We'll put those out as well. I'm going to put them near our full meal. Today, as you saw, we were able to make a nice, wonderful beer bread. We made wonderful beer cheese soup. You have chili, and then, of course, you have your wonderfully frosted cupcakes with stout. So, all I can say to people today is make sure that you cook sensibly. All right, well, there you have it. We've showed you how to cook with beer. Nothing really too difficult. It'd be great for a Super Bowl party coming up. We hope everybody enjoys. We know we're going to chow down now, and thanks for being with us, and we'll check you out in the next couple of episodes. So, anyway, I'm eating. Goodbye.
Hey, it's supposed to be a 6-pack.
Yeah,
well, we only did 4.
Yeah, well, there's 2 in us, so there we have it.
Okay, you got a point. Ciao, till later.